I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 4 o'clock, and the first matter is I'm supposed to do the Pledge of Allegiance, so I'll go ahead and lead that. Okay, ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And while I don't see this on our agenda, I would like to have the roll called if we could. Please, Mr. Ward? Thank you.
Commissioner Hawley?
Here.
Commissioner Gastineau?
Here.
Commissioner Gitlin?
Here.
Commissioner McClure?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
Commissioner Wilson could not be here today, but I appreciate her response. Thank you. Okay, this is the time when we do public comments. I'd like to do this a little bit differently in that we only have one item before us this afternoon, and that has to do with possibly modifying our meeting date. If your comments regard that, if you'd please hold that until the next item, that would be great. Other than that, you're welcome to make any public comment. Any member of the public may address the Solid Waste Management Authority on any matter on or off the agenda. After receiving recognition from myself, please give your name and address for the record. And comments are limited to 3 minutes. So public comment is open. Does anyone choose to come up to the podium and give public comment generally? Okay, thank you. So we'll move on then. Open session items. Again, we just have the one open session item really to deal with, and that is a discussion and possible action regarding Resolution 2015-01, modifying bylaws and meeting dates. And I would like to start this action by greeting Martha McClure. Martha McClure is another appointee, just like Roger Gitlin, from the county. And so this matters on, actually, maybe I'll ask you to introduce this matter, Ted, if that's okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Generally, the Solid Waste Management Authority needs to set within its bylaws the regular date of the meeting each month. And this last year, it's been the second Wednesday of the month. And at this point, we need to set the regular meeting day. So it's really a matter of your schedules that are available. I have conferred with the Board of Supervisors office to determine which days are available. So perhaps it might be useful for me to throw those out. Embedded in these presumptions were that we were going to start no sooner than 4 to accommodate Mr. Gastineau. And although I do have information about the days that are available, the presumption is also that the second week was less preferred. So the Board of Supervisors chambers are available on the first Tuesday as well as the first Friday, the second Monday as well as the second Friday, the third Thursday as well as the third Tuesday, and the fourth Thursday and the fourth Friday.
Can I add to that? Do you mind?
Yes, I think we'll just open it up.
Prior to coming downstairs, I double-checked with the clerk about the fourth Tuesday or even the Tuesdays. And right now, the way they're scheduled is they're scheduled as a BOS day all day. But considering a 4 o'clock start date, she said that the fourth Tuesday is available, and she had forgotten to get back to you with that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Some of you may know that we struggled with this a little bit at our last meeting, and that's why we set this special meeting. And I appreciate everyone being here. Mr. Gitlin.
Chairman Hawley, I'm troubled right now because I'm asking why we're having a special meeting without the public member, Mary Wilson, present. She's a sitting member of this board, and there seems to be a kind of a rush to get this meeting here, so we're only 4 of us. So could you please tell me why Commissioner Wilson could not wait for Commissioner Wilson to participate in this discussion?
I will do so. It's hard for all of us to get to meetings, which has actually generated this current discussion. And it was part of the reason for moving this along is that we want to select a public member who may or may not be Mrs. Wilson. And in order to do that, we need to determine a meeting time so that we know that those candidates can participate. Given the way the voting occurs on this particular panel, the votes of the elected officials are significantly, very significantly important. And I thought we could at least initiate the discussion at this time, or else it was going to be another month probably before we got together again. And I am sorry that Mrs. Wilson is not here, but in my judgment, we needed to get together and have this discussion in the most expedient way possible.
Well, I'm gleaning from your email that you felt that, I think you felt there was going to be, let me read it here. So one reason is to go forward, it'd be good to come up with a solution to the meeting time dilemma before we select the public member.
I just said.
So we have selected the public member. She is sitting in good standing, and are you not aware she has applied for a renewal of another 2-year term? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am aware of that.
So there's a strong possibility, her not being here to have any input, that she doesn't have a voice here, and she as a voting member. So I'm a little concerned that we couldn't have waited for her to return from her business trip, which was over the weekend, perhaps have this beginning of the next week, where she could have participated and been here as part of this discussion.
Okay, your concerns are noted. So, any other comments? Okay, very good. So we do have a dilemma, and it's clearly it's difficult for the kind of schedules we all have to come up with a date certain. And there's differences of philosophies, I think, about should we change the date? It is in our bylaws, we should stay with the same date. I've heard that argument. But I think more importantly, we should try and accommodate the officials that have been appointed to this particular board and try and find a mutual time when we can continue to do the public's business. So I'd like I'd welcome hearing any suggestions, but you know, this is like anything else. There is a time for public comment. Maybe we should hear that now before we go forward. Is there any public comment on this particular issue? Yes, sir.
The county, whoa. And I just request that the meeting time remains in the afternoon. The date is, it doesn't matter to me as long as it remains in the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fallman. Other public comments?
Hi, Elizabeth Henry, living in the county. As I remember, and this is partly a question, when I started coming, it seems like it was the third Tuesday. Is that correct? Yeah, in 2013. So
That was during the 10-member board period, I think. Board member, right?
one
We all
meeting,
met.
and then, yeah, so I don't see the problem with changing, and I do agree it's up to whatever's convenient for you, and I understand some of the problem is that one new appointee can't come on the particular date that you have now, but the meeting she attends is important too. So, you know, I really think that kind of limitation should be taken into, you know, into advisement, as it would be for any other member, Mr. Gitlin or Mr. Gastineau, who's being accommodated, thank goodness, for work time. So, you know, you have to have an open mind on this, and I don't really believe there is an exclusion with a public member not being here. It's always chancy with boards, you know, when you can be here and when you can't. You have to do your business, so thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, seeing no other public comment, we'll bring it back for further discussion by the board. It was actually my suggestion that Mr. Ward make sure of the times that the Board of Supervisors chambers is available, because I know the public has some significant benefit by by televising these meetings, and I didn't want to see that happen or be limited. Does anyone want to go forward with a suggestion of any kind?
I would like to start out by thanking the board for consideration of changing the dates, because I think that I bring to this board a long history of solid waste in Delaware County. I also bring forward a fairly comprehensive history of the integrated waste management of the state of California and the issues that have led us to where we are today. And so I appreciate the consideration of a different day, and I can say that in my years of service, that has always been a accommodating factor on almost every committee I have ever sat on, depending on who was in need of a special time. We made sure we did that because we know that it's important to hear from all of the colleagues of the community. The preference for me would be this time, the fourth Tuesday of the month at 4 o'clock, primarily because we finish a board day that day. And I can squeeze in a couple of other meetings, but I have a clear sail on the fourth Tuesday. And I have other clear days, but I'm a little apprehensive because I'm putting a date out there, and I would like it to be listened to and not objected to.
Thank you. And does anyone else have a preference of days, or do we want to just respond to that? Mr. Gastineau?
I'm okay with, Wednesdays were good for me, except for the first and third Wednesday of the Redwood Transit Authority every other month. Being mayor, we also have agenda review at,
That's right.
normally
You
at
mentioned
3:30 at this time, after, on the fourth and second Tuesdays. So I wouldn't be opposed to the first and third Tuesdays, which doesn't conflict with agenda review. But, also the perks of being mayor is I can move a meeting around if I need to, so.
that. Thank you, Ron. Mr. Gastineau?
Well, I'm looking at the fourth Tuesday of the month is my regularly scheduled Visitors Bureau meeting at 3:30. I serve on the Chamber of Commerce and the Visitors Bureau. We have no shortage of subcommittee meetings, which include the Sea Cruise Car Show and the 4th of July Parade Committee. I'm looking and I'm trying to find some space where it doesn't create this unnecessary ripple effect, which is troubling to me. I mean, you can only try to make something fit, a square peg in a round hole, and it's. But I'm just finding it very difficult. And again, I must be candid with you, my colleagues, that I just feel that this discussion on changing a date is to accommodate someone who accepted this appointment in good faith and knew what our schedule was, and then coming in and saying the first thing I want you to do is accommodate my schedule. And I appreciate that we did this for Commissioner Gastineau. And again, Commissioner Gastineau was a 45-minute leeway. That's a reasonable thing. The day wasn't changed. So the burden is falling on those who are serving in here and trying to balance these very difficult schedules. And I'm looking at lots of things that I have already planned. Choices have to be made. Supervisor McClure took the role of the appointment and then is asking us to change the date to accommodate her conflicted schedule. We all have conflicted schedules, Chairman. We all do. And no one meeting is less important or more important than anyone else's meeting. So having said that, I just must observe that I think we have a rush to accommodate one commissioner at the expense of the others. And I am troubled by this. It doesn't seem quite fair to me. I'm wondering if the same accommodation would be made for someone else who are sitting in that position, if it were me who were being considered and I took an assignment which I already knew I had a conflict with. But I took it anyway and said, okay, colleagues, future colleagues, will you please change your schedule for me? Because I have to be at a Coastal Commission meeting. And that's important to me, and this is important to me. Well, somewhere along the line, choice has to be made. We all make them. And I know, Chairman Holly, you had the same challenge in trying to schedule a tri-agency. It's, and I understand that we can't do morning meetings, Commissioner Gastineau, because of your schedule and work. So we're working around this narrow window of 4 o'clock or there. And I've got no shortage of things that I'm doing on the days that you're all in question. So, yes, I'm having some difficulty with this.
If I may, first Tuesday would probably be acceptable to the three of us, from what I'm hearing. And I was unaware,
Okay.
or I didn't know about your other commitment on the fourth Tuesday, so.
Well, the first Tuesday of the month is my regularly scheduled rheumatology appointment with Dr. Dryland in Medford. It's at 1 o'clock. So that's the standard appointment I have. And that's the first Tuesday of the month. So now I got to find another day to do that. It's a day up and a day back. So I understand these things are difficult, and again, trying to put a square peg in a round hole. You're pushing things in, but again, I come back to this: why are we making these manipulations on the basis of one commissioner at the expense of the others, one of whom is not even here to respond?
Okay. Well, I think I've explained that. Well, let's go through the list if we could. Maybe we'll be able to land on one. Three of us can do the first Tuesday. And the first Friday, I know none of us likes to do this on a Friday, but we could. There's nothing magical about, pardon?
He said only with margaritas.
Only, okay. So, I think it's probably these Fridays would be open for us, given that we've tried to protect Fridays, I think, would be my guess.
So you're suggesting a Friday at 4 o'clock meeting?
I'm suggesting we go through this list of the Board of Supervisors' availabilities, and the first Tuesday doesn't seem to work. The first Friday, would that work for everyone here? At 4 o'clock?
Isn't the first Thursday also open?
Not according to the list that I got.
First Thursday was not available. The third and fourth Thursdays were available.
I can't do the third. The fourth is dicey. What's on the first Thursday in here?
I don't have that information. I simply was looking for what was available.
Martha, on the second Monday, you leave at the time that we would ordinarily schedule this.
The second Monday, I have the second Monday I could probably do because I don't usually leave until the second Tuesday in the afternoon.
Well, maybe, do you still,
That's agenda review for city.
no, Monday.
Oh, Monday?
Oh,
no.
The second Monday.
No, I'm okay on
The only
Mondays.
reason
I'm
I was
sorry.
hesitant about Monday is because of all of the different holidays
Mm-hmm.
throughout the year. That was just,
Would that be problematic, Ted?
Certainly, there are many holidays that do occur on Monday.
But this is one.
I
this
could
is
look
only
through.
the second week. There couldn't be too many on.
I will review the calendar as you're debating the other issues.
what other days did you have?
The second, oh, you're gone on Friday, so the third Tuesday and the third Thursday. I've already looked at my calendar. I can make myself available for these, so that's why I'm not speaking up.
The third,
But Tuesdays are difficult for you, Mr. Gastineau. Sorry. What about the third Thursday? Was that one?
Well, the third Tuesday's not bad. It's right after one of our council meetings, so there wouldn't be an agenda review.
Third Tuesdays?
Yeah, third Tuesday is, because we have our city council meetings the first and third Mondays, and then the agenda reviews are on the second and fourth Tuesdays. So the third Tuesday would be open.
I could be available on third Tuesday.
I could, with the exception of March, because I've already made plans to be with my son.
Okay, but that's just a one-time exception.
One glitch, yeah.
Mr. Gitlin, is that possible?
Third Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
It's our monthly meeting. I take a bite out of Blight program when I meet with my volunteers.
What time?
5.
We could start the meetings at 3:30. I'm done with school at 3:10. I can be here.
And try and get this done by 5. I see no reason why we shouldn't be able to move these agendas along.
In previous discussions, there was the accommodation that the regular meeting would start at 4 and the closed sessions would start at 3:30. So usually it would start at 4. That was the discussion to this
But
point.
we could reverse
But
that.
Absolutely, you
Closed
can change
session
it.
could be afterwards.
Yes.
Sure.
So how about that? Third Tuesdays at 3:30. And then you could get to your Blight meeting and we can move this thing along.
So you said the third Thursday.
Third Tuesday.
Excuse me, the third Tuesday. I will be available every month with the exception of March.
Right, we'll just deal with that.
Third Tuesday.
So we're just about through this list, folks. The fourth, we had, Tuesday wouldn't work for Mr. Gitlin, so it'd only be the fourth Thursday and the fourth Friday. Did you say that fourth Thursday was not doable for you?
Yeah, the fourth Thursday is.
Thursday?
That'd be fine.
I could do it on the fourth Thursday. Would that be preferable
Okay,
to you?
I'm moving around the calendar. You're
Was
moving.
there a problem?
Okay, now what is it? The fourth Thursday?
Well, I'm just going through. The fourth Thursday is another possibility for us.
That's, fourth Thursday is I have a Republican Party meeting at 4:30. Economic Development meeting we have on the fourth Thursday of the month, starting at 4:30 at our headquarters.
Okay, thank you. So it looks like the only one that is going to be a possibility will be the third Tuesday at 3:30.
Which means I have to leave early if these meetings run long. And then I'm going to miss closed session. I think we're just pushing a square peg in a round hole.
Well, it's kind of forced upon us.
No, it isn't, actually. Mr. Chairman, it's not. We have a date. And it's coming down to, I will say this, it's forced upon us at the accommodation of another person who wants to go to a conflicted meeting. We all have conflicted meetings. And
Okay.
Supervisor McClure wants to go to her meeting at the Coastal Commission. And I understand that. There are a lot of things I can't do. I can't split myself in two. So because of that, we're here today, sir.
I
That is
I
right.
have a significant interest
Okay.
in making sure that we have all of the elected representatives here. Mr. Finnegan has no interest in naming someone else to that position. And I have talked with Mr. Finnegan accordingly. And I don't, it just is important, and I think that the chairperson of the Board of Supervisors has made a selection, and we need to attempt to accommodate that selection. Now, I know we disagree with that, but hopefully we can arrange an agenda in such a way that we can get this done within an hour and a half on the third Tuesday of each month.
Well, with all due respect, Chairman Hawley, we are a governance of a body of government, not of one particular person who said, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm inflexible. In the case of the chairman, if that's in fact what he said to you, we have to have a consensus. And it's still not addressing the need to say we have an existing date which works on a very busy schedule, and I know your message, I will respectfully disagree with you.
Good. Well, we disagree with each other on this.
I make a motion that we move the meeting to 3:30. Do you want to do 3:30 or 4 o'clock as usual? We want 3:30 on the third Tuesday of the month.
Second?
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'd like to note that that'd be contained in Resolution 2015-01, modifying the bylaws to reflect that as the regular meeting date.
Please. Yes. Would you
Thank you.
modify that motion then?
Just clarifying, third Tuesday, starting at 3:30.
3:30 for the regular meeting. And also, Ms. Rice, would we have to state that any closed session would be after the regular meeting? Or is that the prerogative of the chair?
That would be the prerogative of the chair when setting the agenda. It could be at the beginning or the end.
Thank you.
Thank you. So again, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Ward, would you please poll the vote?
Commissioner Gassnow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gitlin,
No.
Commissioner McClure,
Yes.
Commissioner Holly.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
And just note that I am visiting my son on that one.
I
but
understand.
won't schedule again.
Thank you. I believe now we'll be adjourning to the next regular meeting of the Solid Waste Management Authority, and at this time, it will be on Tuesday, March 17th at 3:30 PM.
St. Patrick's Day, wear green.
St. Pat, okay, we can all wear green. Thank you all for being here. Good night.